It was a hero's tribute, full honors for a paramedic who died in the line of duty. Gordon Baker Sr., the second first responder to die in the Houston area from COVID-19 during the height of the pandemic. We all saw the show of respect by his department, Harris County ESD 48. What you don't see is how ESD 48 was disrespecting this hero's final wishes behind the scenes.
I have been crushed for the past 3 years trying to deal with this.
This is Gordon Brent Baker Jr., the fallen hero's son, and he is finally confronting ESD 48 board members who turned their back on him for more than 3 years. Brent is the only beneficiary named in his dad's will. But in a bizarre twist, ESD 48 decided without any legal reason to help give Gordon's property and benefits, hundreds of thousands of dollars, to a man who claimed he was Gordon's gay partner.
It's painful. I mean, I can't imagine somebody thinking that they can go and change beneficiary information to somebody who is a nobody.
62-year-old Gordon Baker was a paramedic for 30 years, the epitome of a first responder, a hero.
If anybody ever needed anything, they would always ask, and he would always help, anybody he could.
Gordon caught COVID, helping infected patients, and he was hospitalized.
I immediately broke down.
But Gordon Jr. was dealing with his own crisis in Washington State. His wife, Amanda, had her second health battle with leukemia.
Gordon told him, don't come because we don't have a vaccine. Texas COVID cases are through the roof.
Sadly, Gordon's condition went downhill.
He said, look, if anything happens, I have a safe. This is the combination. I have everything that I want done in that safe.
Gordon assigned a friend, Robert Spears, to have medical power of attorney.
He had a relationship with Robert Spears from the late 90s, 97, 8 to about 2001-ish. Then they broke it off.
Spears had moved back into Gordon's house to become a full-time caregiver for Gordon's sister, Glenda. But there's no evidence they had become a couple again. Even after Glenda died, the family says Spears was not a boyfriend.
He wasn't. He was somebody that never left. He wouldn't leave.
Gordon went on life support, completely incapacitated. And his family says that's when Robert Spears saw an opportunity to get rich off Gordon's benefit.
Oh my God, I'm sick to my stomach. I could only imagine what my dad would be saying. It hurts.
Get this. Spears somehow convinced Methodist hospital doctors to take Gordon off life support because he wanted a quick wedding ceremony.
They actually tried to do it. They weaned my dad off of medicine, and my dad had a major panic attack, tried to rip tubes out. Then they immediately had to resedate him because of the shock that it put him in just to even consider trying to do that.
There was no ceremony, but Methodist hospital medical records went from indicating Gordon was single to showing that consent was being given by a spouse. When Gordon had been on life support a full month and the hospital was saying it was time to end it, Spears can be heard asking for more time. But why?
Can we have a day to talk about this?
Oh, absolutely.
Can we have a month?
Today we just learned the virus has claimed the life of Gordon Baker.
And who did the TV interview after Gordon died? The guy who was claiming he was Gordon's gay partner.
He taught me a lot about the medical field, the EMS type emergency situations, how to act, what to do and what not to do.
Without any legal authorization we can find, Spears tried to take control of Gordon's bank account. Look at the bank records. Spears took out $1,000 in cash 18 times that December, and 3 times on the day Gordon died. He wrote checks while Gordon was on life support, even after he died.
Gordon Baker is a kind, gentle soul, loves his patients.
ESD 48 lowered flags to half-staff that day, and then helped spread the word about a GoFundMe account for Gordon, set up by an ESD 48 employee. The beneficiary was Robert Spears, not the family. But the funeral home director had an ominous warning for the family.
She's the one that told my husband, listen, something's going on. She said, because they're trying to put this guy like he's the next of kin when legally you are. She said, I see all the documentation. There's nothing about this guy.
We welcome you today as we honor and celebrate the life of Gordon Baker.
Despite those tears from an EMS official, the family already felt betrayed.
You know, the whole time I'm biting my lip, I just couldn't, I mean, it was just tears pouring down my face the whole time, pretty much.
This is Deputy Safford, Harris County Sheriff's Office. I'm here for a domestic prevention. Is Robert Spears home?
Brent was the sole heir of his father's estate, but they were even being kept out of his dad's house by an ESD 48 employee named Kim Shull.
This is my house.
It's not your house.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so you know who they are, correct?
I know exactly who they are.
She no longer works for ESD 48 and is now sorry about what she did.
I thought I was being a friend. Now I just feel like I've been seriously taken advantage of.
Taken advantage of by a guy who claimed a relationship without any evidence to prove it.
It was in no way like a spousal situation.
Kim bought Spears' story, but now she tells us she knew all along what the truth really was. But she went along, she says, when Spears made this bizarre claim.
He couldn't take, or he could not get permission to take Gordon off the ventilator until he had taken so much money out of his account. That sounded kind of fishy to me.
I just want to say that I'm extremely disappointed and frustrated and heartbroken, and told them, please, I don't know what's going on. We haven't got any benefits yet, but the employees are harassing us, extorting us. They stole things out of Gordon's home.
Wala Al-Masri was the human resources director at ESD 48. She doesn't work there anymore either.
On the paperwork, everything says to his son. Gordon was meticulously, he paid attention to who his beneficiary was. And I know that the paperwork, everything stated the son's name as beneficiary.
But Ray Sidwell, who is still the Assistant Fire Chief of Administration at ESD 48, apparently decided he wanted this alleged domestic partner to get some of Gordon's money.
And he was upset that everything was left to the son. And he said that that was unfair. It should be to his partner, Bob. And I remember telling him that it's none of your, you need to take your biasism out of it.
We investigated the possible bias. We know from Harris County appraisal records that Sidwell now co-owns a house with another guy who claims on Facebook that he's in a domestic relationship. We also know that Sidwell was eventually removed from handling Gordon's death affairs.
That's why I introduced myself. I'm Wayne Dolce. I just want to introduce myself. Good. He's good.
We're over $200,000 worth of attorney's fees. Every benefit that he's received, which is just the federal benefit and even the life insurance, everything's went to Gordon's funeral or legal expenses or to maintain Gordon's property.
And Robert Spears, there's evidence he tried to get Aflac disability payments when Gordon was on life support and clearly not improving. And that GoFundMe account, it raised more than $11,000 that Robert Spears got. But he won't tell us now how he spent it. The family says he never paid for any of the funeral expenses, but he did apply for Social Security as a spouse, but was denied. And he wasn't paying the mortgage on the house. He sold a lot of Gordon's furniture. It took the family a small fortune to get him evicted.
Finally, once we evicted him, he left the house in such a disarray with bleach on the carpet and feces and just a bunch of mess. I mean, it was terrible. The fire department helped him move out.
No, I live in North Carolina now because of everything that happened with the case that you were talking about.
After a brief phone call, Spears broke the promise to do an on-camera interview with us.
What should happen to Robert Spears?
He should be jailed.
He should be in jail.
4 months after Gordon died, Brent and Amanda mediated a legal settlement with Spears. But after uncovering what they say was alleged fraud, they filed a lawsuit. The judge was Jerry Simino. He's openly gay and tried to block the eviction of Spears. The family believes that cost them tens of thousands of dollars in unnecessary court delays. But the family is asked if his sexual orientation made him more sympathetic to Spears. Judge Simino told us he couldn't comment about pending cases, but after 3 years, why is there even a court case anymore? Instead, there should be a criminal investigation. And I've had some choice words for the folks at ESD 48. You should call for an investigation, an internal investigation, to determine whether or not this community, the taxpayers, were cheated by Mr. Spears. But it's Gordon's grandson whose tears should have moved the ESD 48 board. Shameful that it didn't.
I'm upset that I didn't get to live through 3 years of my childhood because I've been having to fly for 3 years.
He missed sports and other activities because of the travel and trauma his parents had to deal with. The Bakers have filed criminal complaints with the financial crime section of the Harris County Sheriff's Office, and very little has happened. We're gonna call that out too. ESD 48, they sent the family a bill for more than $20,000 to pay for the funeral. But why? Wasn't this a line of duty death?
It makes me wonder why we have these laws, but yet nobody wants to do anything about it when somebody breaks them.
That's why they finally came to us. They didn't want to be called homophobic, but it was kind of hard to ignore all the connections.
And we kept having the faith that somebody would do the right thing, and we didn't need to air everything out. You know, we didn't want to do that to people, but they had no shame in what they were doing to us.
Their time to grieve the loss of their father was destroyed by what sure looks like a cover-up to us.
What should happen to ESD 48?
Oh, they should be held accountable as well. They conspired with him.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
So do we.